Oh, hi, it's me. I'm here. We have a thing. Welcome to the Spin Network production. We are brought to you by I have not had a lot of sleep. We are brought to you by our patron subscribers.
And Tim's sleep demons.
And I don't sleep because my dog can't stand up. So we got Russell and Dutch and Claire Levert and Hayden and Tons of Mice and Ollie. Can't forget about Ollie. And Mikey's dying. So thank you again for being a patron subscriber. If you're not one already, patreon.com/spinpodcast. We do have a free tier in case the government decides that we're not cool enough to be on YouTube anymore. And you can find us there.
Or too cool.
Yeah, we're too cool.
Too cool for legal.
And also to all of our various members on YouTube now.
You have a video. It's at the end of the video. It's going to be at the end of this video. You have a thank you video. Let's preview the thank you video right now.
Why did you get me dancing?
Because you did not make a video. I made a video. And if you let me make a video, I will choose the clips that are most beneficial to moi. But we have a guest, Timothy. How rude of you.
I know. I'm so rude.
Hello, guest. Hello, Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell everybody who you are and where they can find you.
Oh, hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Harris. I'm a UK trans campaigner. It's a great honor to be here on the BIN podcast. I'm not on any social media whatsoever.
Good for you.
As a campaigner, they come for you, especially in the UK. So I tend to spend all my time offline, but I come onto lots of podcasts on the Politics Social in the UK. I present on there sometimes with Graham Hughes. And I'm here with Mikey Tim today, who also comes across to the Politics Social. So really great to tie up and meet you all.
Awesome. Okay. So here's how. Have you seen the show before?
I have not.
I haven't either. What's the show about?
Tim, you're not supposed to be watching the show. You bet. If I catch you watching this goddamn show, Tim, if you're watching this shit ever, I swear to God, I'll fucking find you. I swear to God, I'll get my hands
Mikey,
on you. I'll get you.
Mikey, I have to watch it. I have to make the clips.
Don't you be watching it to know when to start and stop? Just guess.
I don't watch my stuff. It goes out and then it's gone into the ether.
I hate the sound of my own voice, so I don't watch a lot. I just watch enough to do the clips.
Yeah, I've been getting better with my own voice because it's somebody else. It's past me. So then I'm like, okay, what did me sound like that? You know what I mean? I can't, because even like, some people, their microphone like reverberates back into their ear and they like that, so they know how they sound. Oh, what a horror. If you want to get me to like reveal military secrets, put my own voice back into my head as I'm talking, and I quit. Whatever you want. The submarine is in the desert. I know you wouldn't have guessed that. That's why we put it there. Get off me. Turn it off. Turn it off. But how the show typically runs? Oh, let's say hi. We gotta say hello to the people. and then we can start the marathon. Billy, Scott, Kate, Russell, Dave W. Hi, Dave. Who else we got? My spanner fires blanks. Billy. I'm sure it's fine. Happens to everybody, you know. Yeah. Okay. Christy's here. Oh, Jen. And Jen. Okay. We're all here. Did you know, Tim? I was very busy over the weekend.
You were busy over the weekend?
I invented a new color.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Scientists have discovered a new color by shooting a laser into their eye. Did they?
Ooh, guess. What color is it like an offshoot of before he tells us anything?
Shot a laser into his eye and he saw a new color?
There's a new color.
Yeah.
Offshoot of red.
The color wheel. Okay, offshoot of red from Rachel.
Offshoot of blue.
Okay, here we go.
Let's talk about it. This is a graph of the part of the electromagnetic spectrum we can see from about 380 nanometers to about 700 nanometers. And this is a Maxwell triangle, which is a way of representing the imbalances of
We're starting off with nerd, baby.
Signal from our three types of cone cell. This is my red cone cell. If
Yeah. That's just how eyes work.
Magnets, how do they work?
Not in water.
Tides come in, tides come out. You don't know.
at this point, the medium
need to
cone
clip
cell
that. I'm gonna
starts to
sound
get
clip that.
involved.
So you got 3 cones, small, medium, long. They shift colors when lengths and distances get short enough or long enough. Blah, blah, blah,
And
blah,
you can
blah.
see the color is shifting toward green. When I reach 543 nanometers, I reach this spot, this corner that it's about to turn. If I keep going now, see my third cone cell starts to get involved right there. I start going down this ramp toward violet. So let's back up to this spot right here, 488 nanometers. This is the wavelength of the laser that the scientists shot into their eyeballs in order to try to create this new color, which they've called OLO. Even though naturally all 3
Oh, yeah. That is a great name for a crayon. Olo.
Olo.
This is possibly the worst name. I can't think of anything worse than a fucking made up thing. Did they literally take like the O, the L, and then what is this?
Fettuccine, linguine, martini, bikini.
Here at 488 nanometers, the blue and red were being excluded. So only the medium cone cell was active, which meant that the imbalance could move further away from L and S and enter this uncharted space, which is where OLO exists. In the retina at the back.
So it's a super green.
The super
The
green.
green. Hail the green.
Olo green. I thought that was interesting.
Sounds like a chocolate.
Chrissy says, why would you shine a laser into your eye? Are they stupid or were they high on something at the time?
Scientists, they need to get high on something.
So apparently, like in the rest of the video, which is very nerdy, it's only a minute. We can watch it. The show's we're early in the show. I haven't wasted any time yet.
Back of the human eye, the cone cells are packed in really tight and in a random way, and they're not like labeled or color coded or anything. And so what they had to do was individually map where these different types of cells were in each subject's retina. Once they had the map of the retina in their computer, they could use it to program their laser to aim at only the green cones. And as
they did it that way. Like, holy shit.
you can see, with those cones being packed so closely together, it's really hard to focus the laser on a medium cone and not have it spill into a neighboring long or short cone. And that is why OLO, or at least the version of OLO they were able to perceive, is somewhere around here and not all the way at the extreme of what a completely isolated M cone response might look like.
Trump time.
So dude, there's a whole range of shit.
Yeah.
But we got these crappy seeing grapes and they don't work very well.
Yeah. We shone a laser into our eye and it went black.
Yeah, the note to production note: do not shine laser pointers into your eyes, or say goodbye to your eyes.
Always bad.
Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Unless you're a qualified medical professional.
Unless you're gonna map the the 3 different shapes and sizes of cones you have in the back of your retina. Unless you're gonna map it first, somehow. Then don't. Yeah. Unless you map, don't laser, as we always say on the broadcast.
Gotta find that Olo.
You gotta, man. But I'm glad it's green because green is the best color, obviously. Everybody knows that green is the best, right? Tim, say it, Tim.
Red is the best.
You're just wrong. Oh, speaking of red, you're on May 4th. We missed this, but I saw it on I think one of the nighttime wrap up guys. How did we totally forget that Trump did a fucking Sith AI photo?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I saw it. I chose to ignore it.
But where there's one, there's always two.
So who was killed? The master or the apprentice?
It was a red saber. That's the baddies. They always think, right, though. I mean, from an English point of view, the Republicans always think they're the rebel army. You notice that? They always always on stage at their CPAC going, oh yeah, we're the Rebel Alliance. No, you're not.
No, dude, you're a bunch of stormtroopers.
Yeah, y'all are literally like the stormtroopers from the last movie.
Yeah.
Hold on. I just shifted realities. Hold on. What's Elon's daughter's name?
Vivian.
Vivian is the one.
Oh.
Like Luke was the son of Darth Vader, and only he could bring balance to the. Vivian will because she's an American citizen because she was born here. I'm pretty sure, so she could run for president and topple the Great Terror, throw Palpatine off of the catwalk.
Oh yeah, a trans president would be good.
I mean, it's Vivian must. Vivian, you are the chosen one. Star Wars was a prophecy. So Vivian must take down the evil emperor's henchman, which is Elon. So yeah, it all works out.
You were the chosen one, Anakin.
Yeah. Oh no. Vivian, don't ever go right. We push her up, or Greta Thunberg goes to Exxon. It's like, no, Greta. The money's good.
You're meant to bring peace to the Force. Balance, not peace. Both peace and balance.
You're meant to destroy the Sith, not join them.
Damn, I always get that wrong.
Oh, Ewan McGregor at his finest.
Oh, honestly, Anakin, you'll be the death of
me. He's so cool all the time.
Oh yeah.
Stop being so cool.
Cool. He is, but he's higher because Alec Guinness is. Oh, he's more machine than he is human. No, he's running down there.
Yeah.
And Anakin is, Anakin, you'll be the death of me. He's up here.
Alec Guinness is. All right, Tim, hot seat.
What?
You're going to get a good sound effect or a bad sound effect, depending on how you answer this.
Okay.
Alec Guinness or Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan, go.
Ooh. Oh, man.
Don't choose wrong.
Ewan McGregor.
Oh. Honestly, Anakin, that was a good choice.
Let's try, and
that is, of course, Alec Guinness is the best.
Alex the first. You can't.
I don't know. Who would you, if we had a movie?
Yeah.
Who would play us?
Who would play us? Who'd be Mikey Famine?
You'd be Seth Rogen.
No, I don't want to be Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
don't make me Seth Rogen.
That would be what they would get. They would use a Seth Rogen type to play you, and I feel like that would be wrong. But
Can I be like a fucking I don't know,
Jonah Hill?
No, not Jonah Hill.
That's what I was saying. So fucking go with what I said.
Can I be like a Jake Gyllenhaal?
What are you gonna like fucking turn into a monster overnight? Like what? Jake Gyllenhaal is a transformer, man. He's always turning into some otherworldly monster in his movies now. It's like I'd like to freak out in my.
So who do you have playing you? Denzel Washington. He's a bit of a cool dude, you know.
He's old though, right?
Oh yeah, a bit of CGI. They can make him look a bit young.
A young Denzel.
Filters.
I told my wife, I was like, your boyfriend's movie is #1 right now. She's like, oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan. I'm like, you ain't supposed to say that.
Ooh, Michael B. Jordan to play Mikey Famine.
No.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm way taller than him, and he's way stronger than I am.
You're lucky because people just saying, oh, you know, who would play Rachel Harris? John Denver. That's insulting. It's the haircut and the round glasses, you know. Yeah. Almost heaven.
Oh, I like that one. Young Mos Def. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
The Mighty Yasin Bey. Sam Jackson.
Hey.
Yo, me and Tim should if we ever hang out in person, we're gonna have to get some costumes and shoot a few scenes of Die Hard 3 with the Vengeance.
Yeah.
Of me and you being Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis. I think that would be hilarious. I think that's the Patreon special that everyone's asking for, that they're just too afraid to ask us in person.
Get those goddamn snakes off my goddamn podcast.
Ooh, the Lady Killers.
Oh, yeah. It's good in the Lady Killers.
Ewan McGregor walking into fucking Mos Eisley just cracked me up. You'll never find.
Will you see such a wide band of
expected him to like there to be like a song in the cantina. If Ewan McGregor was there, everyone just
you request, same again. All right. Dun, 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 dun.
And then he just walks in and starts singing with the alien choir. I can't. Tim, you owe me $600.
Okay.
I bought what you told me to buy for my wife as a gift, just like this guy, and this is what happened. Same story.
No. Oh, no.
A mistake on a Donald Trump keepsake might be funny to some.
But it wasn't a laughing matter for the couple who paid more than $600 for the Trump-branded watch. The I-Team's Brian Crandall looked into it and is here with what's happening now after we got involved. Brian?
Well, Patrice, Jean, one letter was left off that watch face, and it was pretty much the worst one possible to forget. And after being disappointed with the initial response from the website they ordered it from, the Middletown couple talked to us.
What's the problem?
Hilarious.
Are you guys so fucking lazy you can't go in and get your own tea put on there? God, he has to do everything. Everything.
I liked it because it's similar to a Rolex band.
Showing support for the president and love for his wife.
Just thought it was really nice. It was beautiful. And I knew it would be something that she'd like.
A limited edition.
One of 250.
Oh my God. Look at that bust.
God.
Look at that. Look at that. He's got sunglasses on doing like a face.
That's 6'3", 225, by the way.
Wow. That is a buff Trump.
Oh my goodness.
He doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
So that attracted.
And Tim Pettit shelled out $640 for a watch that may now be...
For one watch? Do people pay that much for watches?
We do, but nicer watches.
Oof.
even more of a one-of-a-kind than he bargained for.
Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
Pettit bought.
It's Trump time.
Trump.
He's just got the hammer pants on. Just...
Trump time.
Oh man, if Mike Hammer ever did that, if he ever did that, he has been an icon in my life. But if Mike Hammer ever did a Trump time fucking shuffle, it's over.
Oh,
Yo,
no.
I had to cancel Nelly and Snoop Dogg. I'm over here hurting.
Really
and Kanye. I'm over here hurting.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah,
all my heroes. Damn.
I know. It's like film. It's like keeping a list of actors that are supporting Trump from a UK point of view, and it's like, oh, that's all the Stallone ones gone. Oh, can't watch Frasier anymore. Oh, can't all the Mel Gibsons. You know, we were soldiers. I'm running out of people. You know,
I mean, Mel Gibson was toast way before Trump, though.
Yeah,
he was. To be fair, he was.
Oh, and speaking of Mel fucking Gibson, the judge got in all that trouble or whatever for not giving him his guns back when he's clearly fucking psychotic.
Yeah. And now he's got his license.
Oh my, I'm judge. I need a witness protection forever because this motherfucker is crazy. I would like to be sent to Argentina, up in the mountains in a little shack with a solar panel on the roof. Just leave me there. Come get me in 10 years when this all cools down.
I mean,
that's the dream.
I grew up with Mel Gibson. I mean, it was, I was,
weapons.
I'm Connor McLeod from the Clan McLeod, so I'm very old. And, I right back to his first films, right? Mad Max, all those other films and Lethal Weapon films and all those, it was like, wow. And then
we ain't too old for this shit.
And now it's like, and the very first Stallone film, the one I really liked was First Blood. That was quite good. And it was like,
Stallone.
Stallone, yeah. John Vort's gone a bit funny, and and it's
he's always been a bit off.
Oh yeah, but again, I'm that old. The Odessa File was actually a good film back in the day, and it was.
I liked him in Mission Impossible.
Then yeah, who doesn't like Mission Impossible though?
Like when the drop of sweat was caught with the glove, like. Oh my! And all it was like a hand and a slow-mo drop, and we were all that's storytelling. When they just you looked at a drop on a glove and it took your breath away. That's storytelling. Say what you will.
I'll have to watch after hearing an ad like that one on the radio
with the president's voice hawking the watches, and I was curious, so I went onto the website.
Get Trump.
Look at this. It's called the First Lady.
Oh my God.
Don't they do any normal colors? It's like,
yeah. This will go great with your skirt on the golf course.
Yeah. The Germans always make stuff.
Giant ass gold fucking face. Like that's a real
Watches.com picked out the pink inauguration First Lady model.
It has the pink and it has little fireworks on it.
Melanie Pettit likes the style, but it's what this watch does not have that makes it stand out.
She better put that watch on before she accidentally tell Trump he did something wrong. She gonna get deported. You better say, I love Trump.
Yeah,
I see the T.
The T is missing. It just says RUMP.
So it should say Trump.
It should say Trump.
Instead,
it says rump.
She has a $640.
It doesn't even look like the T even goes there. It doesn't even look like the T was supposed to go there.
Do you think they were gonna do a gold T?
Maybe.
But that probably makes it really bloody expensive, right? Because it's rare.
Yeah.
This is a one-off.
It's a one-off.
The one in 2025 is actually missing the T in the first 500.
Yeah.
It's
made in America.
Like when they misprint stamps or Magic the Gathering cards, like it's super rare now.
Yeah.
It's the background's off center or something. Yeah.
They process this and go through something without checking their work.
I'm very disappointed. I want it to be a
I want to hear this guy play that keyboard back there. I see he's got a ukulele too. Hey, play some tunes for us, guy.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
And we had expected that it would have the integrity of the president of the United States and good follow through.
The GetTrumpWatches.com
how ridiculous that statement is, you wouldn't have said it.
calls its products the official watches of President Trump, but in the small print, it notes.
I mean, look, there's clearly a T on there. Okay, now they got you on fake advertising. Now that because that clearly has a T on it. I could see it. These are not rump watches.
They're not rump watches. Maybe she bought it. Maybe they went and bought it on holiday somewhere. Do you want to what? Like on a Rolex, want a rump? $50 for a rump.
Sleeve up. You had 16 watches on it. You look like a silver guy. That's on this arm.
I've got rumps. I've got bollocks. What else do you want?
Got a couple of see you next Tuesdays over here, but those are extra. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. Oh no, I closed the
They
wrong
won't
window.
know what happened.
No. I
Here,
can
Mikey. I got it. I got it.
Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain
expected him
it.
to like. Oh, did you grab it while I was talking? I hear me in there.
Oh, do you hear you in there?
Play it again.
Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't
Yeah,
explain
him to like. Expecting him to like. I say, oh, too close.
And
Too
welcome
close
to
to
this
now.
brief up.
Too close to now. I can hear my voice. So I caught the final minutes of this crunching gear change.
Oh, that is a very big gear change.
This, and it is entitled e-petition debate relating to transgender people self-identifying their gender. And this was on Monday.
Yeah.
I literally turned this on when there was I think I got here at 2:24. It ended at 2:26.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened.
Okay.
Rachel, can you elucidate?
Right. So I didn't watch it, but I watched the real-time output that somebody was sending me a scroll on internet. And here's the reason. So in the UK, I'll explain, you can get a lot of people to sign a petition. If you get 10,000, the government has to respond. You get 100,000, they have to debate.
Oh.
So that was a debate on, in the UK, we have gender recognition, called the Gender Recognition Act. It's not very popular. It's hard. There's only 8,000 birth certificates, GRAs certificates have been issued. So not many people do it. You can change your passport and driving license anyway. But what we wanted was something called self-ID, which was a lot easier. Have it in Ireland. You just go to see a lawyer. You swear you swear in front of a lawyer. You get your gender recognition certificate. You change your birth certificate. Really simple.
Yeah.
32 countries have it in the world. By the way, no man has ever used it to become a woman and go into a toilet, which is what right-wingers always say will happen, and it never has happened. Scotland and the UK were going to do it year before last, and then the English Westminster government blocked it. And so we are, as you know, this was the beginning of the rollback of trans rights in the UK. Anyway, 100,000 people, trans people, allies, parents, brothers, sisters, you name it, signed it, 100. So the MPs had to debate it. Now, normally, this is a bit of a double-edged sword, because normally what happens when you do this is every nasty MP in Parliament piles into a room, and it's just the most awful thing to watch. And they're like, oh, well, they might dress up as women, men might dress up as women, or, they might get, and it's just the worst. It's just the worst people rock up and say the worst things. And it's really hard for us to watch it. This one was different. And I've only just seen the transcripts of all my, because as you know, I'm not on social media, but people send me transcripts of the real time. And most trans people were happy with it. It actually went really well, and they were not using many. There were a couple of on the people on the fence, but a lot of MPs recognised that our Quality and Human Rights Commission has been a bit very off on trans. That the crime rates against trans people are rising. That our medical care is shocking. That our wait list is shocking. That the Supreme Court case that we've just had in the UK, that essentially, well, it doesn't change the law, but everybody says it's changing the law and banning trans people, for women in particular, from single-sex spaces, which it isn't, but that's what everybody thinks. And so the MPs weren't dog whistling. They were actually coming up with a lot of the issues that are affecting us. And we think that's because there's a big letter writing. Every member of Parliament is getting hit by letters from the UK. Mums, dads, brothers, sisters, allies, colleagues, decent human beings are writing letters to MPs going, what are you doing? A small group of people got the Supreme Court to change the law, to interpret the law incorrectly, and which will be challenged in the European Court of Human Rights now. And so it was a very narrow area of law getting interpreted, but it got blown wide open by our media, and a lot of groups interpreted it in a way that I just don't think so that debate was actually okay.
Let's listen in, because from what I heard, I was like, wow, they got it. This is their debate. This is really nice. Like I didn't know what I was watching.
And thank you to all the honourable members who've spoken in support of this petition today with understanding and with empathy. As a Liberal Democrat, one of my foremost values is to create a society in which people are able to lean into their full potential. In the past, in this country, we've tried to force left-handed people to be right-handed, gay people to be...
Now, wait a minute. Before y'all come for me, there's right-handed and wrong-handed. That's just the way it is.
No.
I was left-handed and made to write with my right hand at school in the 70s.
Tim is a glitch in the system meant to destroy us all. We love that guy. He's got a guitar that is upside down over there.
I have a left-handed guitar.
It's upside down. He's a flat earther. Everybody knows it.
It's a left-handed guitar.
It's just a normal guitar that you turn the other. You just restrung it the other way up, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, no, I bought it
literally backwards.
Yeah,
literally
but
backwards.
Guitars work both ways. You just string them. You just string them the other way up.
No,
If
this
you're
one.
Jimi Hendrix.
This one. The whole thing is like flipped.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I mean,
you're walking a very fine way. I'll say it again.
I'm left-handed, but I write with my right hand, which means my handwriting is awful, because in the 70s they made you write with your right hand with an ink pen, which leaked everywhere. And so when I play tennis, I usually play with my left hand, and when I and I have a knife and fork, not a fork and knife, and I hold my glass in my left and right, both hands, and everything is really left orientated except my bad handwriting, because the 70s, you got to write with your right hand because you're different, and we don't like difference in the 70s.
My dominant hand is my left hand, but I write with my right. I'm stronger with my left on everything, but I'm right-handed because they made me.
Yeah,
so I did it. So I'm one of you, Chris. Leave me alone. All right, it was a joke. I'm being hyperbolic.
be straight, or otherwise punish people who deviate from the norm for being who they are. Let's not repeat that mistake by putting insuperable obstacles in the way of trans people. Today we've heard some people argue that about the rights of trans people versus the rights of women to have a safe space. This is very complex and in some contexts especially sensitive, but let's keep it in proportion. Trans people are a tiny percentage, and the vast majority of them just want to be able to live their lives peacefully. As already mentioned, being trans is not a lifestyle choice. It is a path that is difficult, onerous, and too often fraught with danger. It is not a mission that people undertake in order to gain access to single-sex spaces of the opposite sex.
And I'm going to pause this real quick for a second. I'm not going to pull it up because Tim Pool drives me insane. I can't listen to him more than once. Love that guy. I hate you.
See the Russian guy.
Yeah, the Russian asset. Tim, I would probably do 20% more volume. Because I can hear it, but I think only I'm getting the joke.
Okay.
Hit it again.
Hold on.
Love that guy. Perfect. Tim Pool, love that guy. He just went off the rails recently about the Against Me singer who transitioned and their music and da 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 da, and I used to play their songs and da da da, like this whole freaking freak out. And it's like, Tim Pool, shut up.
It's your fault. I mean, we've had, don't get me wrong, we're on Turf Island, but I've been a campaigner since the 90s, and up to 2016, it was all going really well. We were just about to move into self-ID in the UK. I was going backwards and forwards in America. It was pretty good there. Yeah. And then suddenly, one of your think tanks just decided that same-sex marriage was like, oh, we lost that, right? And women have got this voting thing and they've got equal stuff. We don't like that. What do we need to do? We need to go back to first principles. Who don't have rights that we could really get the lead? So they've gone all the way back to trans rights and made that a thing. So you know, in the UK, we have an act that protects single-sex spaces, and trans people can be returned away from single-sex spaces under that, the Equality Act, and that has worked for 15 years without any incident. And organizations don't tend to do that. Because they find a way of including trans women and trans guys and non-binary people. They find a way, and it works. But because the Overton window that we've shifted right in the UK, and right wingers in America and their think tanks, and a lot of your dark money comes into the UK, our media, print articles, and everybody goes, she says, oh, it's a complicated issue, and you know, and it shouldn't be because there aren't many trans people. Well, there are a lot of trans people actually, but it's like, oh, it's become really difficult. It isn't difficult. It just feels like it is because actually the law has worked for 15 years in the UK. It's just that our media will attack anybody that says, I actually like trans people and want to respect them. So they either don't speak up, or if they do, they get a pile on. So it wasn't a complicated issue. The law works here, and it has worked. It's just the media, like some of our right-wing papers pump out 4 or 5 articles a day, which don't usually have trans voices at the end of them. They're usually the same 5 or 6 groups get quoted. And everybody, and most people haven't met a trans person in the UK, though they are beginning to meet them. And that's why we're beginning to get balance back in our fight back, because a lot of the mums, dads, brothers, sisters, allies, colleagues are writing letters to MPs, and our MPs are really surprised on the pushback. And Labour are like, don't know which way to go now. Oh God, there were 7 people outside the Supreme Court celebrating the decision, but we had 30,000 the next day in London. Maybe we got this wrong. So now Labour doesn't know where to go. But the law worked. It's just that the money that's flooded into our banks, and they've nobbled Labour, who were LGBT, you know, just 2 years ago, Keir, my father was a toolmaker. Oh, I like trans people. Trans women are women and trans men are men. No, not anymore. Not within 2 years. It's like, no, trans women aren't women. They're biological males now. Is that what you wanted me to say? Great. Okay. So they're going to get a vote. Why are we not getting any votes with that? Everybody's resigning.
I feel like you can almost see the strings with Starmer sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the light catches it and you can almost see the strings.
Oh, well, did I mention the toolmaker thing?
Geppetto.
He cut all the right-wing party, all the left-wing policies that he got elected on. He's cut all those. He's U-turn on net zero. He's U-turn on PR. He's U-turn on media reform. He's U-turn on trans rights. He is just, my respect for him is just through the floor. I will never vote Labour ever again. And a lot of trans people are moving to the Greens and to the Liberal Democrats. When that was a Liberal Democrat you saw speaking in that. It's just, we are, and Labour, you know, people are just, people, hardcore Labour people, you know, in the politics social that we both know, Mikey, are resigning their Labour memberships.
The lack of morality and dancing who you came with is crazy. Like just literally cutting off sections of the ship to try to save yourself is just crazy. Kay in the chat says, I met Laura Jane Grace twice. Saw AM down in Bloomington, that's Central Illinois, 2 years in a row. And both times she hung out by the bus for like 2 hours after the show, singing stuff and talking to anyone who stuck around.
Fantastic.
What a terrible person. And Tim Pool's upset because I used to like the band and I'm going to dead name them a whole bunch of times. And then now they're all woke. And it's like, shut up, dude.
It's all performance, isn't it? It's like one of the right-wing channels in this country, you know, it's banging out, oh, we hate trans people, we hate trans people, we hate trans people every day. And they've got a gender neutral Lou in their studio. It's just, you know, this is all performative. Well, we've got to go, you know, on television and say this nasty stuff about trans and you know, that Keir's, you know, I'll correct myself. He hasn't given up on net zero, but he's rolled back a lot of the hard promises. The 32 billion he was going to put in and that he got elected on just got cut as soon as they were in. But I think it's just that whole, I think it's performative. I mean, some of the right wingers that I've met in the UK, you know, they're nice as pie when they're not on, but when you get them out of that green room and you go onto a set, they're different people. And that is, you know, it's a lot of it's just performance.
All right, let's let her finish this up.
Yeah.
We as parliamentarians have a duty to get this right. This is literally vital when we hear about the terrible, tragic rates of suicide and mental health issues amongst trans people. And so today I'd like to leave the government with the following questions. What measures will they implement to reduce the current 7-year NHS waiting lists?
7 years is crazy.
It's longer than that in some of the, it can be 10 years, but 7 years, 5 to 7 is right.
That is not even, you're not waiting for any, that's not a line.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
Yeah. It is.
That's just a no. That's a long ass no. That is not, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
What will they do to address the shockingly low prosecution rate for hate crimes against trans people?
Yep.
What will they be doing?
And I think, honestly, that's the move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's easier to get people in line for certain, like, radical behaviors, like these hate crimes, stuff like that. Like, in down in Florida, that I forget what the name of their group is, but it's those white supremacists that just got caught up in Ohio. They were hanging that shit over the interstate, and then they didn't realize that they were next to the hood. So the hood came out and was like, yo, get the fuck out of here. And then they started running away, and they fucking burned their little neo-Nazi flag. And then they put LH in bullets to tell them not to come back.
Yeah.
Like, those dudes. So those dudes didn't start in Ohio. They started in, I think, California, but then California got hip to them, and then they got sent to Florida. Right. And then in Florida, they were throwing out anti-Semitic leaflets. Like, you know how sometimes they'll like do like the yard care guy will put his ad in a bag with a rock in it, and they'll whip it out the thing, and then it like slides onto the driveway. Yeah. Well, they were just putting filth, just pure anti-Semitic, anti-Jew filth in there. Jeez. They fucking made an ordinance, or what do they call it? Enhancing any hate crime from any crime or something like that. So these dudes were throwing out leaflets. They got a year's jail time each, all of them, for throwing out the stuff because it was littering with a racial hate crime enhancement. Like, that's what has to happen. Yeah. Like, you got to put that big, and that's why they ended up in Ohio. It's the same group of guys, but they just keep getting bounced. And once they started going to jail in Florida, they're like, oh shit, pack it up, boys, we're out of here. And they went up there. You got to add enhancements on these hate crimes to really deter people, because they will think twice when it is 2 to 5 times more if it's against a trans person.
And that's the problem we got in the UK, because a lot of hate crimes are what they call aggravated. If it's aggravated violence or it's against that group of people, then it's aggravated automatically and they get long prison sentences. But for against LGBT people, it's not aggravated. It's a lesser crime assaulting or attacking or murdering a sort of trans person. So the judge can assign aggravation and then enhance it. But unlike all the other crimes, when it's automatically there in the UK, he has to decide. So you have to have it really serious for you for a judge to go, do you know what? I don't think I might aggravate that. But it just shows that it's a lesser characterization of assaulting an LGBT person. They just don't see it aggravated from the get-go like they do with other categories.
MPs got to put that into the law. You got to ramp it up. If no one's gonna do it, then it doesn't matter, right? If you don't plan on harming anybody through a hate crime, then this shouldn't bother you. Well, all sides should raise their hands together for non-violence, right? Because if you touch one of them, you're gone. You're gone for big time. You're gonna miss a decade. Touch one of them, and you're gone for a decade. How about that?
Yeah. That would be good. I think trans people need, if you're not going to help us with our healthcare or give us jobs or allow us into single-sex spaces.
Then the streets need to be safe.
If you just touch us, then you get 10 years. I mean, that would be better. At least that we are kind of like, leave us alone if you're not going to help us. But the problem is, it's like rape in this UK. It's a 1% prosecution rate. And it's like the police, a lot of people don't report it because they don't think they get it prosecuted, and it's a really traumatic process for women.
Very public process.
And LGBT people a lot of them don't report their crimes because they don't think the police are going to be, they probably won't investigate it. It's certainly not, they just don't feel that they're going to get a sympathetic response. And you just saw in the UK, as soon as that law, as soon as the Supreme Court made its decision, which was not to ban trans people from single-sex spaces, But the interpretation in the media, as I said, and the Equality and Human Rights Commission has been, well, the British Transport Police said, right, trans women aren't women anymore. You will be searched as a trans woman by a male officer automatically. Straight away, almost the next day. It was like, hang on a minute. If I get attacked or whatever, or you think I'm a criminal, you're going to strip me? And a guy's going to do that? I don't think so. But that's where the British Transport, and that just shows the police mentality. They're straight to it. And it's like, wow. That was pretty horrific. I think that was even worse than the Supreme Court decision for me, that the police went, right, we're going to get the guys to strip search it. It's like, what?
And again, and when it comes to the young people, who the hell's checking the girls? One of these nasty fucks who are constantly being under investigation, who are constantly being, how many coaches and after school, whatever, you know what I mean? All of these, like, those are typically cisgendered people. If correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't like to play the what about Hillary's emails game with people, but it would behoove the trans community to start exposing and broadcasting every time one of these people in a kid-rich zone ends up being a nonce. Because guess what? None of them are trans. Just like trans, 0. All of these people in trusted positions, 100 billion. You know what I mean? Like, keep the scoreboard up there. Because
one of your states has almost voted for genital inspections of kids in sport, haven't they? In one of your, I can't remember which.
It might be one of them southern states.
It's just crazy. Just so
my money's on Alabama.
You're not checking my kid.
My money's on Alabama. They be doing crazy shit down there.
As soon as a hand goes like this to pull some shorts back, I got a charge. Shoryuken coming in from the stands. Are you kidding me?
It's crazy. That is crazy. I just think it. There is discussion to be had about sport and trans people. There are some sports we can automatically do, but they're just banning us from all sports because this is a battleground. So it's like, it doesn't care if it's tiddlywinks or pool or darts, they're all there, or trying to ban us from in the UK. And chess, it was a single sex category, and they split them to male and female just so they could ban trans women from them. It's like,
well, you know, the men use weighted pieces, and there's no way that a woman could lift man's rook. There's no way.
It's a battleground. I mean, it's just like hospitals and sport. They nobody cared about. I mean, trans people have been in the Olympics for trillion years, and nobody's ever cared. There's only like 2 trans athletes. They didn't win anything. It's just suddenly this is a battleground. They don't care about women's sport. They don't care about, it's like football in the UK. Women's football was never a push for funding by the so-called let's protect women, we love women's sport. They never pushed for women's sport. It's like don't let trans women in prisons. They don't care about the mental health of women in prisons, or the violence against women in prisons, or the prison officers assaulting millions. Well, all the stuff in women's prisons. They don't care about any of that, but don't let a trans woman in a prison. And that's where they are. It's a battleground. They don't really care. It's just that we've got to be outraged, and we've got angry. We've got to be angry, and we've got to get others angry so they don't concentrate on what's really going on.
Well, if you take it from, like, let's say, like a Tim Pool's perspective again, he doesn't think that women's sports are serious anyway. He doesn't think that women can compete on the same level with men to begin with. Women's sports are just for, like, girls to go off and have their little sports before they become housewives. Like, that's the whole. Like, that they don't care anyway. They're the only reason they're defending women's sports is because they don't want transgender people in there.
But it is so exhausting to watch. You look at countries that start going towards the sort of fash level of the spectrum. They start with the trans kids because parody gets outraged by that. That's an easy in. And then you take the healthcare away and blah, blah, blah. And then you go for the trans adults, take their healthcare away and their violence, and you ban them from everything. Then you go to same-sex marriage, and then you go to women's rights. First of all, you take away the equal pay, and then you start taking away their voting rights by saying, oh, you've got to have your birth, you've got to be it's got to be your marriage certificate name, your birth certificate name, and not your marriage certificate, and all that. You start removing their rights, and you start making them look like Barbie dolls, and you make them look like Barbie dolls and have them in the home having children, which is nothing wrong with that, but they have to be a choice for them, not Handmaid's Tale choice. And so if you're going to force them in the home, that's why this trans thing about don't let trans women in sick and sex spaces. Well, you know who's getting thrown out and losing in the UK right now? Non-trans women, right? Cisgender women are getting thrown out. And the reason is they want you to look like a Barbie doll going in there all made up, looking like, 1950s model or something, because you've got to look like that. And that's misogyny. They're applying misogyny. The feminists are going, you got to look like a 1950s model. You've got to look like Bette Davis or something, because then you're going to elude. But if you're a woman with short hair on jeans and wearing DMs or something,
why are you wearing pants? You must not be a woman.
Yeah,
you must be in a dress.
It's a real reverse. It's real misogyny right there. And some of these groups that attack trans rights, they're already moving on to women that, people coming into the country that have got dark skin, and these are the feminist groups. They're moving on to immigrants now to protect women in the UK from the immigrants coming in, and they're moving on to all sorts of weird other things, because they think they've won the trans battle in the UK now. So they're moving on to some other really weird stuff. And it was never, but it's really about, for me, it feels like it's basically go after women's rights, because we can go for abortion, we can go for voting, we can go for all that stuff, because we've weakened LGBT movement, which was going to be allies to that, and we can now go after them, and this is legit. And they just want women to be in the home having children and not being in the workplace. And that's what it feels like.
Who could have imagined the trad wife split off from the feminist party? Like, what?
But that's what it is. That's what it feels like. And you see the odd essay from some of these anti-trans campaigners in the UK. They'll write it on some of these funny right-wing sites, and you read the essays. It's like, I don't think there should be a gender pay. I don't think they should have equal pay. Yeah. I don't think they should be in I don't think they should all have an education. They shouldn't all go to university. And you think, oh my God, why doesn't people see this stuff?
Well, once again, in American politics, you got like the Charlie Kirks of the world, Andrew Tate, and all those fucking manosphere guys who are like women who get
preach.
Yeah, women who get degrees are a problem. They shouldn't be allowed to get degrees, and most degrees are useless anyway, and women don't deserve equal pay. And they're all there for is to be married and pop out children. Like, that's the whole extreme right of it all.
But that's the Overton window, right? It's shifted so far right. I've heard them say, if the pilot's black, not getting on the plane. If the pilot's woman, not getting on the plane. 10 years ago, you'd said that. You'd be over. You'd be cancelled. Nobody would speak to you. But now it's like, you come on my podcast.
Did we forget how to shame?
Yeah.
Did we forget how to hold people accountable for their fucking words?
What shaming? We lost it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Donald Trump, that's what happened. Is like we tried to shame Donald Trump, and he just doesn't have any.
I think for the 2016 campaign, we flat out, everyone laid out the case. This dude's all bad, no good. Yeah. And people said, but.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. The buts.
And it's gonna drain the swamp. Oh yeah. It is the swamp.
No more war.
Yeah.
Drops a fucking Moab to kill one person. Like a several $1 million bomb.
I think a lot of people have taken Trump's I'm rubber and you're glue approach and really have run away with it. Like, once again, Charlie Kirk says the craziest things. The dude is literally a Nazi.
Yes.
And he's out there on college campuses. They did a thing on the Daily Show with Jordan Klepper about the Gen Z and Turning Point USA. And he's out there on college campuses saying the craziest shit, and these kids are fucking eating it up because they think he's super awesome for saying what he wants.
Yeah, he's
a rebel.
We got the same problem in the UK. We got this, what we're seeing a lot of graphs is inclusion from 2020, from COVID, for women in South Korea, in a lot of the European countries in UK are continuing to be inclusive and broad-minded. But the guys, they were going up in the same way on the graph, and now they're going down. And a lot of them were red pilled by the kind of the incel movement online. They got a bit radicalized. And even in the UK, the curve is going down. Even the Gen Zers were losing some of the guys to reform. Oh, we're going to vote reform and bang a nail in my head. But it is we're losing some of the guys. We're losing some of the guys. The girls and what you're seeing. I mean, obviously, social media is like you've got right against left, you've got Labour against Conservative, you've got trans people against LGBT people, you've got and it's because the algorithm, you go onto a a social media platform. You go, I don't like trans people. Oh, you don't like trans people? Maybe you'll like Nazis. And up it comes. The algorithm gives you that stuff, and it pushes people further apart. So
Clippy shows up, plink, plink, plink. I see that you're trying to find something to watch. Can I offer Nazis?
But what's happening is, what we're seeing is that, all these right wingers are setting up dating sites, and there are no women on them because the women are still progressive.
Hey,
and
but you have to pay your monthly fee, and then you can get more stars and stripes, and that'll give you more swipes to see if the girls will like you. Just another $20, another $20, another $20.
So there was an article in the UK yesterday that was just showing on all the apps that progressive women and most women are swiping left. They're not picking these guys. They're going for progressive. They're going for middle of the road. They don't want to right wing. And that's they go, the birth rate's dying out. We've got to go Handmaid's Tale and put women in the home. Well, maybe if you try courting them and try learning conversation,
showering.
Well, that's the problem, is that men
groom your body. And then they might want to listen to when they talk.
Yeah.
So I
ask them questions.
I have to say, as a straight white guy,
how dare you?
There is something wrong with straight white guys. There is something like they are broken, and the only thing they care about is proving that they're awesome to other straight white guys.
Also true.
They don't care about, this is broad generalization. But in the manosphere, they don't really care about women so much as they are objects. They care about proving to other dudes that they're the most alpha bro ever.
Yeah. But you've seen that, though, right? On the incel movement, you see it's like weightlifting, body trim, vitamins, fast cars, cigars, slap your woman around a bit. It's like, because on the left, it's pronouns. That's really hard. But it's over here. It's easy. It's all fast cars, cigarettes, and we can look at us. And it's like, I guess when you're young and you're sitting in your bedroom playing Wolfenstein, you're going, this is really easy. This is like fast cars and just talking about women and looking at porn and eating, whatever. Whereas over here, I have to be a human being and be nice and learn about profans and be respectful. That all looks a bit boring. This sounds great.
Yeah, the manosphere is just one big Call of Duty chat. That's all it is.
Oh my!
I always play Call of Duty solo. Always.
Tim, that is the single truest thing you have ever said.
Yeah.
The manosphere is just a Call of Duty lobby.
That's all it is. It's one big Call of Duty chat. By the way, Mikey, on that Daily Show thing, they had Hassan Piker.
Yeah, because did you hear about this, Rachel? He's like the biggest streamer on the left, and then he got detained and talked to, and do you like Trump and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's scary stuff.
Anyway, they talked to him as sort of the antithesis of the MAGA Charlie Kirks and Andrew Tate's. He's like the opposite of those guys when it comes to at least influencer spaces.
Yeah. I've watched him, and is it Vosh? Your American Vosh? Watch a bit of Vosh. I watch all the network. I spend too much time looking at your politics because it's more going to affect ours. More. So, hey, Billy.
Billy's a baby shout out.
She's watching Sesame Street, and something very exciting is happening. I don't know what it is, but she felt the need to scream.
But it's like an early warning system, right? So I watch the Bullwick, which are sort of ex-Republicans, and they're in the middle. But
Tim Miller is great.
Tim Miller is great. Sarah Longwell's not great on trans and sport, but JVL is good on trans and sport. But anyway,
I like Michael Steele.
Yeah, Mona's the one. Mona isn't. I don't like. Mona wasn't great. She had a UK.
That's a data, dumbass.
Love me some Michael Steele.
But I liked him. And, obviously like Midas Touch. I sort of watch Michael Cohen just because he swears a lot, and so do I when I'm in England.
Jim Acosta's show is pretty good.
Yeah, actually. Jim Acosta's good. And I still watch the old Brian Taylor, and I still watch David Patman. So you get a bit of an early warning system. And so I consume all that stuff. And then I sort of watch, I watch Politics Social, and I watch A Different Bias with Phil. But you soak it all up, right? But the American stuff is really important because anything you're up to, it kind of comes over here very quickly. So
can we put a tariff on that?
You should put a tariff on that. We won't pay it, and then you won't send it. We don't want it.
We have a 3,000% tariff on right-wing bullshit. So
But I never thought that it would, to us in the UK, America's, half America's great and half of it's crazy town. And it has always been, we've all been to America and we love it, and it's like, it's Disney World to us. We're Brits going over the whole, you travel across America, and I've done many times and I love it. I wouldn't go now, obviously, but
don't do that.
But
then
we
don't land in Newark. That's all.
No, I'm not going to do that.
In Newark.
No, but we never thought we would have a right, like we wouldn't have a Fox News here in the UK, but we do. We wouldn't have people standing up in Parliament and telling big fibs and making up stuff. We wouldn't have, the papers wouldn't write, but they do everything. Suddenly people you've seen as politicians suddenly shifting right and saying this crap, knowing it's not true. And I thought, I never thought we would see that here, but I don't know. I know it's arrogant to assume we're better because we're not, but it just felt like we wouldn't come here. But it is. Here it is. We're doing exactly what you're doing.
But we also assume that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, there's no way they're going to vote for him again.
Yeah.
As horrible as it went the first time.
Yeah.
Only a moron would vote for him again.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, it's that turtle face chappie's fault, isn't it? Because he wouldn't impeach him. That's what they keep saying. They keep saying on the Bullwick.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. Mitch McConnell. Yeah. And also Kevin McCarthy. So after the riot, he went down there, and when everybody else was blanking, and he went down there and offered him an olive branch, right?
I forgot about Kevin McCarthy. Boy,
they threw him to the wolves.
That brings me back.
Yeah. Sharon Douglas in the chat says, "Why are we still pandering to transphobes? They don't have a phobia, just like racists don't have a race phobia. Let's call them out as the haters they are. They're trash haters, and they are nasty." Yeah.
Perfect, Sharon. Perfect. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
We call them out, but people, I don't know. The shaming, it's like, I don't know. There's so much noise, the media and all these all these fake organizations keep popping up. These turf groups pop up, and they're like, and governments think it's huge in the UK. Whereas you look at any anti-trans campaign in the UK, tops 100 people if you can do it. We rocked up with 30,000 on 2 days' notice. There's another protest in London on Sunday. It's going to be massive. I mean, now the media won't report it, of course. Right. So, but they'll be there. It's trans people are not unpopular in the UK. There's been another survey out at the moment, and it says, people, it's not trans people. That popularity is falling, but it isn't really. It's just the surveys are created to say that, and the media will report those surveys. So it's not, acceptance is still good. Acceptance in the UK is still good, but it's just, the media will say it isn't, and they scare Labour into saying, "Oh, look, acceptance is falling." Look at the survey. The survey has just been created. We don't know what questions were asked, or who was asked. We don't know that stuff.
All that. I think this is an opportunity for like Graham and the Politics Social lot. Like, get a live stream going. You know what I mean? Like, because as soon as people realize what is happening, their eyes will flock towards it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just because they are wet blanketing everything.
Yeah.
We should still go out there, still get out there with a couple of big lighters and see what happens. Maybe you can, keep the fire going.
Well, there's two problems, and I'll be honest. I mean, and Graham knows I bang on about this all the time. I mean, our progressive presenters on radio won't talk about trans stuff because they think half the audiences are anti-trans, and they're not. It's going to be a small amount. But they don't talk about it. They go, what they normally go is, I am woke as a presenter. I love the woke word. I think it's really good. It means you'll have empathy. Trans issues aside, they'll say, and trans issues aside, I think we should be progressive, because they don't understand trans issues, or they do and they don't want to talk about them. But streamers on YouTube streamers, a lot of them that do politics barely mention it because they just don't want the pile-on. They'll talk about any progressive, black rights, disability rights, winter fuel payment. They'll talk about, but they barely mention it, and they won't have a trans person on because they're just like, oh, you know what, we're going to get a pile-on, or I might lose some followers. They weren't
afraid of that over here. At the
and Graham Hughes, and I first met Graham. He said, "Come on the channel," and I'm on the channel, and it's I love talking about this. It's important. It's good to have a trans face on a streaming channel. And Graham rocks it. And he's the biggest ally I know. But a lot of streamers won't talk about it because they just don't want the hassle. And a lot of radio presenters in the UK go, it's when they go, trans issues, it's not an issue. We're not an issue. Trans issues aside, I'm really, drives me mad. It's like, we're not an issue.
If everybody is in the complaining mood, give them something new to complain about.
Yeah.
How long until we get the enhancements for these crimes? So that when you're at the pub and you're too many in, and you sexually assault a trans person, bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
We do.
That's see you later.
Yeah.
See you in like 4 on good behavior. Bye.
Yeah.
Lock them up.
It would be good if we had those protections, and we don't. And the crime rates, and of course, the mental health support in the UK has collapsed just for everybody. Mental health services, but if you're trans and you're waiting for your 7-year queue,
that's crazy.
There's no mental health support for you. So how do you get, your family? If you're lucky, if your family's supporting you, then there's some support there. But it's not an easy journey, right? It's the journey of champions. To get through that, you do need to have good support, and you don't get that.
That's so, like I said, 7 years is just a long ass no. That is just no, without the courage to say no.
And it feels like they're going to make it worse because there's a review going on of adult services, and after the cash review, which was the review of the child services, which there's been a lot of negativity about that report. A lot of countries and organizations have discredited it. But we're now seeing the what we call the levy review going through adult care, and we're not optimistic about that. We think there'll be a lot of gatekeeping. There'll be a lot of talking therapy up front. Anything but being trans will be the solution, and we're not optimistic about it. They're not reassuring us, and Wes Streeting, the health secretary, has just been really awful on trans. He's rolled back everything, and it just doesn't seem to care about it. And he's a gay man.
I might have a solution. Lobby Parliament to draft a resolution to offer money to the psychologists over here and just import them.
You got a lot.
There's a lot of people with degrees,
right?
But not who haven't been able to find their job. You know what I'm saying? So they're over there like at the grocery store, but they have a degree. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, so just like, let me just put some psychologist birdseed on the ledge here and see what flies up and takes a peck. And then you capture it and keep it for yourself.
We'll take some. Send them over.
All right. Rachel, I don't know if you knew this. I am in Chicago right now, but I am not a Chicagoan. I am a transplant. I am originally from the best city in the whole wide world, St. Louis, Missouri.
Up in there?
And it looks a bit different now. It is confirmed an F3 tornado went through last weekend. Here's some reporting on that.
The National Weather Service confirms it was an EF3 tornado that caused the damage in St. Louis. Today, storm survey teams are still in town completing their work. But what goes into that work, and how exactly do they know the wind speeds without measuring them? Weather impact meteorologist Gary Frank explains.
Like what the actual hell?
Wow.
Get this off my face. Haha, there we go. Like what are you supposed to do when the whole corner of the building is lifted and then the air gets in there and it just takes it all?
An active severe weather season has culminated most recently with EF3 tornado damage in St. Louis. The track was nearly 23 miles long. The tornado was nearly 1 mile wide. And
Sheesh.
And did they have warning, or is this one of the areas that's affected by the cuts where there isn't a warning system anymore?
No, they were warned here.
All right, okay.
Maximum wind speeds were 152 miles per hour. But how do we know all these things? After every storm, in conjunction with your reports, pictures, videos.
So I found out tornadoes are a North American thing.
Right.
Like exclusively on the globe. I was like, no, they have to have them in Africa. No.
No.
I was like, well, they have to have them in Asia. No. Mongolia. No. Just here. I was like, oh.
Jeez.
What the fuck? I've always grown up with them.
And the radar data, National Weather Service meteorologists survey the damage caused by the tornado.
Sheesh.
This is done in conjunction with the enhanced Fujita scale, which accounts for the quality.
God damn. I don't see F5s are like,
yeah,
nothing can survive that.
Wow.
Of building construction when surveying the wind damage.
Well, as the National Weather Service continues to survey things, not everywhere are you going to be able to see what the wind speed was, especially in these North City neighborhoods. So you look at roof damage, even as simple as shingles, or diameters of tree branches, larger tree branches, how thick they are, obviously full trees, and even semi-trucks and full houses. That's the way the National Weather Service is going to continue to survey these things every time. And that's how we can estimate the wind speed in your local neighborhood.
There are 28 damage indicators, including 1 and 2 family homes, manufactured homes, motels, schools, small businesses, and even trees. Each one of these damage indicators has a specific description of the typical construction of each indicator.
In St. Louis, for a little bit of historical reference, St. Louis is one of the older cities, like older, larger cities in the U.S.
Right.
It was like the last stopping post before people hit the Oregon Trail. Well, that would be like in Independence, which is a little bit further away. But because of the Mississippi River, people floating barges up and down it and all that stuff, St. Louis has always kind of been not more or less the same as kind of this people come, people go, and then some people stay. It's just always been this cultural kind of hub, I would say. It's always had its French parts, it's always had its Spanish parts, it's always had its native parts, black parts, white parts, and it's got a very complicated interweaving with segregation and how like I didn't know my mom went to segregated school up until 3rd grade. Like she's like, no, I didn't go to school with white people till 4th grade. I was like, what? Wait, what? What are you talking about? It's just, but everyone kind of goes along to get along. And this is just, it's so the trees are old. Like these are very established neighborhoods.
Yeah.
For example, if a house has vinyl or metal siding, or if a house is made of brick or wood, these things all correspond to different levels of damage. So in addition to being experts about weather, the National Weather Service survey team must know a little bit about construction as well. So if glass on windows or doors were broken on someone's house, the expected wind speed would be 96 miles per hour. But there's both a low end and high end wind speed assigned to each one of these categories also. The low end in this case being 79 miles per hour and the high end being 114. As the construction of the building is determined, the wind speed is determined as well, and then assigned a rating on the EF scale. Then you'll see these damage points that are surveyed on the map that we share with you. Each one of these damage points is correlated with a different level of EF damage rating, depending on what structures are impacted.
That's where my house was.
Why the storm rating is lower, as it started in Clayton, increased as it moved northeast into Forest Park into Bolivar, and reached maximum intensity as it entered the Kingsway and O'Fallon neighborhoods. I'm Weather Impact.
My old middle school was in O'Fallon.
Wow.
Let me find that Kentucky one. I found, because not everybody got the same warning. There we go.
Well, the UK's only had one hurricane tornado in 1988, I think it was.
Yeah,
we had hurricanes, but nothing like that. Climate change is a wonderful thing,
and it's not like there it is.
Department of Government.
There we go. And it's not like we could do anything about this. I mean, it's obvious. Stop fucking pumping shit into the atmosphere. They told us the answer they told us the solution fucking 10 years ago. Quit pumping that shit and then it'll calm down a little bit.
Well, we're sitting in a drought in the south of it. Well, I'm sitting in the south of Kent, and we got a drought, and we haven't had rain forever. All the farmers around here getting really worried. We haven't had any rain for a long time.
Here we go.
Weather YouTuber, Kyle's a big weather guy. He watches him all the time on YouTube. Was astonished that there hadn't been sufficient warnings put out at the time as he was covering this live. Let's go ahead and take a listen to a little of what he had to say.
What we're talking about here is a big deal. I am so surprised that we don't have an upgraded warning from the National Weather Service. of the things that I do want to mention is I'm pretty sure this is the national.
It's about 11 o'clock at night. When he's doing this live stream.
Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky. My local National Weather Service here. This is one of the places that's understaffed right now. I don't know if you guys have been following the news, big layoffs across the National Weather Service and stuff like that. That might be a result of a problem that we're having there. If so, that's crazy. That's crazy. We're about to have a large tornado go through a very populated area with much less warning than what there should be as a result of that. Guys, all I can tell you right now is if you know anybody in Somerset, call them right now and let them know what's going on. I'm not kidding. Like, this is a big deal. This is a huge deal. We've got a massive tornado about to slam through Oak Hill, Bourbon, and Ferguson here.
And he was absolutely right in the dire nature of those warnings. That Kentucky Weather Office, they say scrambles for staffing as severe storms bear down. New York Times write up here. Washington Post had a write up as well. National Weather Service office in Eastern Kentucky was scrambling to cover the overnight forecast on Friday as these tornadoes were moving through much of the eastern U.S. According to the union that represents the department's meteorologist, Tom Fahey, the legislative director for that union, was one of 4 that no longer had a permanent overnight forecaster after hundreds of people left the agency as a result of cuts ordered by the Department of Government Efficiency.
Well, there you go.
Jeez.
Well, there you go.
At least they did say on screen, Doge is responsible for cutting a lot of the headcount.
But this is, this is independent media.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean? Will CNN and Fox say that? Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
No. Jeez. Who knew when you take traffic controllers away and weather experts out that things are going to go wrong? Who knew? Everybody.
It's almost like we spent 60 or 80 years trying to find the best way of doing something. You're like, look, and then here comes these morons like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. It must go. Just because you're stupid doesn't mean that the rest of us haven't figured out a very good purpose for this.
Do you know that game Kaplunk where you pull the straws out? That's what they're playing. Oh, no crashes today. Oh, no crashes today. Oh, too many straws pulled out.
And to see the man with the most gender affirming care I've ever seen, who's probably wearing a girdle right now. To have him walk around and say, well, I'm going to make mistakes. Well, then fucking take your time, dumbass. That's the point. That's why government takes so long, is because you have to measure not twice, sometimes 200 times before you cut once.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to do things. Everything has to go through committee. Everything has to be debated. You have to go through the nitty gritty and budgets and appropriations. And when will we do this? And which account should we use? And da-da-da. Like, it's annoying. It's boring. It's government. That's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be run like some sort of corporation that can be bankrupted at any second, as seen by the 2 idiots doing most of the bankrupting.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's like the before times on politics with me, because before 16 rights were going forwards, and though I was a campaigner, I didn't have to deal with government, because for government for me was how much is alcohol and how much is petrol.
Right.
And that was it. That was government for me.
How much are my fuels?
Yeah. And I did exactly. And I didn't care because, it didn't affect me. I didn't worry about it. And then, when I started getting as a campaigner into suddenly trans rights were getting taken away and women's rights, and we started to see all this dark money come in. I was like, who's responsible? How's this happening? How does this work? And then you understand think tanks and lobbying and governments and appointees and councillors and how all that. And now we're dealing with bot farms and influencers and dark money. Now I know how it all works. And now you know where it's all coming from. I feel like I've discovered the Matrix, and I'm terrified.
Yes.
I'm terrified all the time. I'm going to fight it like everybody else. We all must. But it's terrifying knowing that, I took the wrong bloody pill and I'm aware of it. I'm like that guy who goes, give me the other pill. I don't want to know anything. I'm that guy now. Oh,
ignorance is bliss. Just buttery steak right in the gob.
I know it's not real, but I don't care. That's me now. I wish I could go back into the Matrix.
Plug me in. Plug me in. I'd take it all back. I'm sorry.
Into the real world. Actually, no, back.
I was kidding. God, just how do I? Is it a USB? How does this go in here?
Yeah.
It was just it'd probably be the old. Remember, like in the early '90s, you'd have like the thing where you'd push in. It was like 16 pin. You have to get that all lined up, and then it had the side screws. It would be like for like a like a mouse or a printer.
Yeah,
I had a
Parallel
joystick.
port. Yeah.
God, don't bend one of the pins.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, it's take you 6 weeks trying to fucking plug the thing in, and then you look in there, and it's just one of them is just like a little
But I think
bit.
we are in the matrix, right? Because every time you plug a USB in, it always goes. It's always the wrong way out, right? That's got to be a bug in the matrix. It's never the right way. Always upside down. Always upside down. It's never the right way.
I am a firm believer in the USB superposition hypothesis.
Okay, do it.
Like I am fully aware that the top and bottom position of a USB, it's like a field, you know, like sometimes, like depending on if you're observing it, then it becomes a particle and then it goes in. But if you are not looking at it, it doesn't matter how you held it before you put your hand up there. It does not matter.
It's a blip in the matrix. It's a blip in the matrix. They didn't program it. It's that's what goes wrong. That's how I know I'm in the matrix, because USBs never plug in first time. Doesn't matter what you do. You can't beat it. Don't try.
You just hurt yourself. You hurt yourself. Your brain will hurt, and then you'll have to lie down. Oh, Thirsty Gnome is talking in front of the Senate right now.
Oh, she doesn't know what habeas corpus was, right?
Oh my God. Like, it's just so bad. Like, it's intentionally bad.
Yeah.
It's intentionally bad.
That's law school, but that's law school day one before the coffee break, you know, habeas corpus.
I just don't understand how. And this is, and I guess that's the point, right? Is to just completely upend the apple cart so that even whilst the apple cart is upside down, they assume that they are controlling it.
There's a sort of song in the UK called "Smash It Out, Smash It Out." It's a punk song. It's just that's what they're trying to do.
Just put their foot through the TVs of America.
Jeez, I don't know how you. You know, it's bad here, but geez, I don't know how you
It's
guys.
such a it's. I've already resolved that there's going to be some measure of work that's going to have to be done to restructure after all of this.
How do you think it's going to end? Well, be honest, Mike. How's it going to end, right? Because Hungary, I think they're going to rise up, and Orban's going to end up in a very bad place.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing protests in Romania, in Georgia. I think there are countries, France, they're always on the streets protesting if the government does anything slightly sniffy. Do you think, are you going to have successions? Are you going to rise up? Or are you guys going to ride it until the end to 4 years? I mean, will you last 4 years? What are you going to do?
I think if we get midterms, which are the campaigns for that should be starting in a few months here.
Yeah. Because Graham doesn't think you're going to get them.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So I think everyone's holding their pattern because he desperately wants to trigger martial law.
Yeah.
Desperately.
Yeah.
But wisely, no one is giving him the space to do so. There hasn't been these giant fist fights with the cops and all that stuff. Like, it's not happening. And the black people are sitting this shit out.
Yeah.
Like, now that it's gone full Nazi, y'all go first.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, as 13% of the population, we good.
Yeah.
Going out there.
Why do the police support Trump so much, though? I don't understand. I know they can be a bit authoritarian, but why? I mean, a couple of them were, what happened in J6? He didn't respect those police officers at all. I mean, why?
And that pissed off a lot of cops for him letting all those guys out who were, I mean, it's literally on like 17 different camera angles. I mean, because they all brilliantly took their personal cell phones and live streamed their assaults on police officers. So they have all the evidence in the world from all the different angles in the world to show that this was not a tour. This guy bear sprayed a cop in the face, and that shit is intense. And then just starts kicking him in the ribs, and then let him out of jail. And it's like, all righty.
Yeah.
Let him out. I said, okay, this is your back the blue. But this is the problem with people trying to pledge allegiance to a dictator.
Yeah.
He'll turn on you in a heartbeat. His goals are not your goals.
Yeah.
His goals are always going to be his goals.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, if he gets what he wants, I'll also get what I want. It does not work like that, because he'll promise you your half of the deal.
Yeah.
Just so he can get his half of the deal.
Yeah.
And that's what he did to, like, he went to the imams in Michigan right before the election and said, hey, I'm going to protect Gaza. What do you guys want? You want a ceasefire? You want me to protect them? As soon as he won, it was like, what, December? He came out with the AI Trump Gaza video, and they were like, we feel so betrayed. It's like, of course you're betrayed. He's a scorpion. Didn't you read Aesop fables?
Yeah.
Like, of course he did. Of course he lied to you. He's a liar.
The 35,000 he told in the first presidency. It's like, yeah, I think we all, even in the UK, we got that. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Well, I hope you do get to the midterms. I mean, it would just, it does feel like, you know.
Oh, I mean, I didn't finish answering your question. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then, so if and when the midterms do go down,
yeah,
not only the Republican Party, but the Democratic Party, there will be seismic shifts.
Right.
Everybody's gone. Anybody who was a part of this, who voted to push forward Hegseth and Kash Patel, who voted to approve all these people, Chuck Schumer and all the rest, you're gone.
Yeah.
All of yous are gone. Anyone who isn't actively fighting Trump right now is gone.
Right.
Because that's what needs to, like, that's going to be the next class.
Yeah.
Is going to be the reformists to get to undo and to replace people who are compliant to the destruction.
Right. Because it just feels like the Democrats need a rejuvenation of young people. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, Chuck Schumer is like, you know, I'm going to write a strongly worded letter. I mean, it's like, for God's sake. And
we will win. We will win.
I saw. Oh, yeah. and I mean, even Hakeem Jeffries seems to be corporate-y and not people-y. And it's like, do something. And it's like, there are some great guys out there in the Democrats and what we're watching over here. But it's like, you know, the young ones are really sparky. Crockett and people like that are really good. And
Did you hear what David Hogg is up to? So David Hogg is the young man.
Yeah.
He's 25. It's hard to believe he's just
Good.
yesterday he was in high school. But the asleep at the wheel Democrats, he wants $20 million out of the DNC to primary these people.
Great. Is that good then, isn't it? Get some young.
Oh, they are up in arms. How dare he backstab the party? He forgets who he works for. The same old voices. And this is exactly why y'all lost last time. And that's exactly why I think we should pull whatever portion of the DNC money we believe is ours out of it and just go ahead and make a progressive party.
And the same thing's happening.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I honestly wish we had something closer to a parliamentary system at this point. Yeah, because the progressives are trapped. You know what I mean? Like, we are just, and I think the progressive numbers are growing and growing. They're more than MAGA. They might be more than the Democrats at this point, but we're still caucusing with Democrats because that's where we've always been. That's where we've always lived. It might be time to just move out. We might be too big for the nest at this point because they are not doing the will of the people. And they're complicit in the collapse of our democracy. Like, if we're just gonna let it burn, then they need to go.
But is it possible for let's say I was the richest person on the planet and I started putting people? Is it possible for a third party to be formed in America and then stand against the Democrats and Republicans and then win seats and then be in the hat? Or are you stuck with just two?
It depends. It depends on how this moment plays out. Because if the Democrats continue to fumble, if they continue to blunder every opportunity given to them, we won't have a choice. You know what I mean? It's like if we're in a taxi cab and the taxi cab driver has a heart attack and dies, if we want to get to our destination, we are gonna have to get into a new cab. Like, we cannot sit in here while the driver does nothing and say he'll wake up, he'll wake up, no, he will not. We have to get out. We have to get out. We have to either push this thing, or we have to either throw him on the side of the road and one of us starts driving, or something. We have to do something. But sitting in the back of this fucking cab with no driver is just a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's just a waste of time.
Well, we got the same problem because obviously, Labour, our Labour is like your Democrats. I mean, your Democrats are like our Tories, but our Labour Party was meant to be progressive. It's gone to the middle, and then it's gone to the right. It's trying to be reform, and so are the Conservatives trying to be reform. Reform is our ultra-right party. And leaving all these left people on the left going, hello, we're here. And some of them are going to the Greens and some of them are going to the Liberals, but some are going over to reform because they think that Nigel Farage is a working class guy because he drinks beer and smokes cigarettes. And so it's all scattering. But Labour, they're throwing all the progressive stuff away. They don't have comms. So they're like the Democrats. They'll get into some sort of comm mode when the election's approaching, but they do nothing for 4 years. Whereas Farage is 24/7 bot farms, always on the telly, always got social media and TikTok. He's been electioneering right through like Trump does. So Labour's rubbish comms. Most of the streamers I work with have got more followers than any of the Labour output. Their comms are bad. Their policies are now bad. They've upset old people. They've upset disabled people. And they've upset the LGBT community. They're running, and they're running right through all everything just because they're trying to be reform. And they can't be reform because the Tories are trying to be reform. And reform is already reform. Everybody's trying to be reform. Nobody's on the left where most of us are going, hello, representation, please. And that is why we do need a left-wing party in the UK, but we don't have it. We got the Greens are sort of left, but not left enough. And we've got the Liberal Democrats who are in the middle, kind of on the fence on everything, really. I like the Liberal Democrats, but they're like
the pro-Dem party, I think, needs to be a thing. A progressive Democratic party.
Yeah, that represents people. Press regulation, climate, media, proportional representation, better employment rights, better inclusion rights, just union, all of that stuff. The people, and that is nowhere as far as I can see. And that's
and the crazy thing is that's not even like that's right wing from 2001. You know what I mean? Like that was the norm, the standard from before. But I think this in the last 20 years now, it's gotten so bananas that they're arguing right now in the House. Look, should we cut 600 billion or 800 billion from Medicaid? Like Republicans would never in a million years in the before times thought of cutting that money because they knew it would be political. Just there's no way. You're donezo. You're going to lose your election. Now they're like, fuck it. They can't stop us. Let's just do it quick.
I thought,
and that's crazy.
I mean, I don't really understand the ins and outs, but I thought Medicare was financed and separate from the budget, and it was already we couldn't save money.
Social Security.
Oh, Social Security's financed and separate. Okay, right, got it. Right. So they can't cut that, or will they try to cut that?
Yeah, they're trying to take the whole thing. That's why what's his face was trying to get into the get into those parts of the Treasury. So that's what they want, the nest egg. That's what they want.
They want to rob it all.
Yep, they want to take it and turn it into crypto or
Is that the apocalyptic currency for the sort of, the tech bros when they come out of their bunkers? There'll be the cryptocurrency because all the other stuff will be gone. Mind you, there'll only be the 7 of them when they come out of their bunkers because we'll all be dead. But they're going to come out and go, we got crypto, baby. Yay. Where's everybody?
They think that they can hide from the masses, but while you're in your bunker, all we got to do is run a hose. Just run a hose down there, and it'll eventually fill up.
Well, the door shut.
Just start putting dirt over it. Just start covering. Let the grass grow over it. Build a couple of buildings over the top of it. This is a nice, strong foundation we got here.
Yeah, totally. Oh my goodness.
This is where we'll put the forge.
Yeah, I think welding the door shut, and obviously the security staff are going to get them, and that's their big worry, isn't it? So,
I mean, typically Republicans had some sense of self-preservation. I showed it last week, I think last Tuesday. In southern Florida now, they are mulching the tomato crop because of these, just literally because of tariffs.
Yeah.
Mexico is dumping tomatoes in the States because they want to sneak in as much tomato as possible and all their veggies as possible before the tariffs kicked in. So that meant that the Florida farmers can't compete. Good job. You did it again. This is exactly what happened with the soybeans last time, because he put tariffs on the washing machines. They put tariffs on the soybeans. The soybeans sat. I think it was potatoes too. And then these Idaho farmers are just giving them away to the whole town. Hundreds of pounds of potatoes per person. Doesn't fucking matter. They're going to be rotting soon. And I don't know if you guys have smelled rotting potatoes. They smell great. Imagine a fucking airplane hangar full of rotting potatoes. It's delightful.
Yeah.
All because idiot doesn't know how anything in trade works. Just doesn't understand.
Stable genius.
God.
Jeez.
And he is melting down, I think. I think his is kind of not anymore.
Well, there's a podcast I sometimes watch. I think it's on Midas Plus called Shrinking Trump, which is quite interesting about his whole.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, it's all out his. These two psychiatrists talk about what they think is this dementia, his vocabulary, the way that he, they show videos of him in 2016 and now, and the way, and they basically, and you're not allowed to as a psychiatrist technically analyze from a distance, and they say, yeah, but they do. And
what if we did?
And they have a lot of experts on talking about it, going, well, he stands funny, he leans funny, his vocabulary's gone down, he doesn't hold a thought, it's just there's a lot of it's called Shrinking Trump. It's very good.
Yeah, let's understands how. Check this out. So we did this on Unbox Politics, which is on Thursday nights on the Big Podcast Network. This is Trump from 90. Well, let's just it doesn't really matter here, but
about breaking even, and your other two casinos are down 20% from last year. You have debts to pay back.
Right.
You have huge loans to pay back. You say the country is in a depression. What makes you think that you can pay back those loans? And further, what your bankers have told us is that the only way you even have a chance is by
Barbara is fucking rest in peace the GOAT, Barbara Walters. Oh my God.
selling that property out there totally, the plaza.
Well, I don't know what the bankers have said. The plaza is a very valuable property. Everybody told me, oh, you paid too much, you paid too much. Now they're all saying what a great deal he made on the plaza. Well, I think you'll find that it's a great deal.
No, they're not.
When the deal is all said and done. And I mean, the plaza.
What a dame.
Is doing very well. The Taj Mahal broke every record. That doesn't mean it's doing well. But the Taj Mahal last month had the highest win in the history of casino gaming.
I know, but it still was not enough. Just
listen to his diction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a totally different person.
Yeah, it is. And she's doing some journalism. That's quite rare, isn't it?
Yo. Barbara Dubs, the GOAT. B-Dubs.
in terms of what it cost you.
It's doing record business, but it has to do probably more than record business.
Look, your bankers wish you well.
Me as a fighter, they know that I don't take a lot of crap from people and from others. And
now I talk like this, all hopped up on way too many amphetamines. My hands are going. Yeah, he's got the accordion.
My life is a lot easier.
He's not calling a fake media.
Yeah, right.
If I did, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, I can move this.
In the current issue of Vanity Fair, the author Marie Brenner says that you read.
I was like, what the fuck is this hand? I was like, what a shocking discovery. Did you guys know that?
I had no idea.
I didn't know that. Well, where do I want it now? I put it
A
over
learning
his
experience.
right over his stupid face.
From Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order.
Whoa, what? What?
These are speeches.
Wait, hold on. I forgot about this clip. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, didn't we review this on Unboxed ones?
I forgot about the Hitler stuff.
He was like, yeah, I've never read it, but they gave it to me.
It's. I hear it's a good book.
Well, I think that a lot of people would disagree with that, and I think most people would disagree, and I think that's great. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Nothing you get or got or have is what it's cracked up to be.
Very little.
In your book, you say Success is so often a matter of perception. What do you think the perception of you is today?
Ooh, I really don't know what the perception is. I think people see me as a fighter. I think people have always seen me as a fighter. They know that I don't take a lot of crap from people.
What? You're not never. We've never thought that about you. That's why you went to war. Never mind.
People and from others, and my life would be a lot easier if I did, to be perfectly
Bone spur.
honest.
In the current issue of Vanity Fair, the author Marie Brenner says that you read from Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, and that these are speeches that you seem to admire. What's your reaction? Do you have this book? Do you have these speeches?
It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. A friend of mine sent me a book. A man who I think is Jewish, although I don't know, sent me a book. It happened to be that book. All of a sudden, Marie Brenner somehow found out that he had sent me a book. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and I'm probably going to sue Vanity Fair over it.
The author Marie Brenner quotes you as saying to her,
The more things change, the
I know,
more
right?
they stay the same.
Although you will notice he remembers names and people, and like he can form coherent sentences, but it's all still bullshit.
Yeah.
He hasn't mentioned Arnold Palmer's dick yet, so
He hasn't given a blowjob to the microphone.
oh my god.
when a man leaves a woman, especially when it was perceived that he is left for a piece of ass, a good one, there are 50% of the population who will love the woman who is left.
I do remember saying that. I don't remember having used those words. It's possible, but
wait.
It's possible, but I did say that.
I remember saying that, but are those words that I said?
Yeah.
I think what he meant to say was he maybe not said those exact words.
Now he always says, I don't remember that. You're telling me this is the first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah, many people say.
Yeah, with tears in their eyes.
I do remember saying that. I don't remember having used those words. It's possible, but I believe that if a man leaves a woman for almost any reason, that particular person, the man, is going to be at a major disadvantage in terms of the public eye. There's no question about it.
Do you
Then why do
think
you keep
that your
doing it?
marital problems with Ivana in some way caused some of this to happen?
Yeah, B-dubs. She is in his business.
Wow. I haven't
It used to
seen
be different.
It really did, didn't it?
Respecting the business.
Is there a connection? What is the
Probably.
connection?
I think there was a.
This is annoying.
The publicity was so huge.
It was in his eyes.
So incredibly intense. I mean, 22 days in a row or something on the cover of the.
Oh yeah, I remember watching this clip because if you slap a beard on him, it looks like Don Jr. And it's weird.
Oh my god.
And you can't unsee it now. It's so fucked up.
Yeah, if you slip a beard on him and like slick back his hair.
Yeah.
Perfect Don Jr.
Put a little Coke around his nose.
Tabloids. It's never been anything like that, and it's disgraceful. And somehow, in a bad economy, people focused on me as opposed to everybody else. I signed a prenuptial agreement with Ivana. The reason for a prenuptial agreement is it takes away uncertainty. When it takes away uncertainty, it's quiet.
It really takes away trust, and I don't need trust in my relationships.
It's nice, it's clean, everything. Well, Ivana decided to sue me on it. Brilliantly decided to sue me on it. So now she's sued.
Brilliantly?
Yeah, brilliantly,
Why
sarcastically, brilliantly. She decides to sue me on it.
Look at that. He remembered what sarcastic was. He used it properly. This is a different person.
What's sarcastically brilliant?
She's not going to win the suit.
The best.
I thought it was
brilliant.
dishonorable to do it, but she decided to do it. That caused tremendous turmoil, tremendous publicity, tremendous everything else. And I have no.
Yeah. His brain is scrambled eggs confirmed.
Yeah, very different person now.
Scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
I think I have a shouting moment at that
Department of Government Efficiency, Mr.
thirsty gnome thing.
Is she dressed?
Thank you, Chairman.
Oh, it's our Tim.
Oh, I was watching this before.
Oh shit. It's okay. This is our ex-CIA, very good rated guest on the show, Slatkin. We were gonna make jokes about her video one time, and then we realized she was CIA, and we have no jokes.
No, we like CIA.
Suddenly, we cannot think of any.
Yeah, it's like
upon speaking with counsel, I rescind all jokes.
Yeah, we love MI5.
For being here, Michigan's a border state, so we need each other. We have a very big bridge that's being inaugurated, ribbon cut in September. We need that to be fully staffed. We have a lot going on in Michigan as a northern border state, so we need each other. But what I'm concerned about is that you've taken the mandate to close off the border beyond going after, as you say, the quote, most dangerous illegal immigrants. I'm a CIA
Canadians.
officer. I worked my entire life to protect the homeland. If someone's here illegally, they need to not be here. They've committed a crime by being here. They need to go back to wherever they're from. But my concern is
Democratic answer.
That either through sloppiness or intent, you have gone far beyond going after the quote, most dangerous illegal immigrants and gone into legal immigrants who were given the ability to be here, and even American citizens. And when I think about that, there are lots of people in this country, including me, who have families who fled this kind of environment where they have no rights, where they have no due process, where they don't have habeas corpus. So while I'll be the first to say, coming from a state that was won by Trump, that there is a mandate to do something about the border, I think it is absolute dangerous overreach to go beyond that and start picking up American citizens and people who have the legal right to be here, lawful immigrants who have done everything right. So first and foremost, do you acknowledge that your department has made some mistakes, any mistakes, in going after either American citizens or legal immigrants here in the time that you've been in office?
Over under on whether she tells the truth. She's gonna say, yeah, we made a couple mistakes. She's gonna say that. I will go out on that ledge.
She is
Someone's got to vote for it.
She is not going to admit anything and deflect on everything.
Tim, ye of little faith. Here we go. Watch this.
We have not deported any U.S. citizens
Detained?
or people get interviewed. If they get interviewed and they go through that process and we find that they're U.S. citizens or legal immigrants, they stay in the United States.
Have you deported
We have to
any
go through the vetting process.
Have any American citizens, including children, been deported during your time in office?
We have children that mothers have chosen to keep with them. So those
By my
mothers
count,
have
you
made
have 10 American citizens, including children with cancer, who have been deported out of the country. I understand you're saying it's their choice.
But
It's hard to imagine a small child having a choice. But have you gone after legal immigrants? Again, your standard in your opening statement was the most dangerous illegal immigrants. Does that include PhD students and master students at colleges across the country, unarmed? Are they the most dangerous illegal when they have status and no weapons?
I don't decide who gets status through a student program. This Department of State decides that, and we enforce it.
Oh, come on.
That's what our Department of Homeland Security does.
I just would offer
Those
that,
student
again, I
programs,
have no qualms with going after folks who are here illegally. That is not my concern. That was part of my job, was to prevent people from coming here illegally in a former life. My concern is you're sending a chill down the spine of America by going after people who either have legal status or American citizens. And when my colleagues ask you about habeas corpus, and you say, literally, we can review the tape, that you believe it's a right the president has, you sat here in front of all of us and
wait, what?
Wow.
So there
Is this bitch stupid or crazy?
There is an earlier senator on the Democratic side who asked her if she knew who had the power to revoke habeas corpus, and she said she did not. And they asked her, could she provide the article and section in the Constitution where it said that a branch of government had the right to revoke habeas corpus, and it's in Article 1. She did not know, and then they asked them if she knew which branch of government was covered under Article 1, and she said Congress, which was the only question that she got right. It's the most basic of questions about the Constitution.
I thought they all carry it around with them.
They say they do.
But she doesn't know anything about fucking habeas corpus or the Constitution, obviously.
Wow. That's jeez.
Habeas corpus belongs to the president?
Well, yeah.
These people have smooth scrambled egg brains.
And this is the Stephen Miller argument too, is that the president has the right to revoke habeas corpus under whatever statute they want to cite.
That's insane.
They don't understand that, once again, that's a power of Congress. It's a check and balance. And it's only been done twice in American history, and those are both times of war.
Jeez.
And swore an oath to the Constitution. And that is not at all what habeas corpus is. It is a right that we all get, that American citizens get, that people who are in the United States legally have. So my concern is it's complete overreach. I don't think American citizens, even those who voted for Trump, believe that you should be able to just grab someone off the street, sloppy, who has the legal right to be here, and certainly an American citizen. And I just am concerned that while you say you're going after the most dangerous folks, what you're actually doing is going after folks for political reasons, right? A PhD student that's
we are
unarmed
absolutely
is not
doing
at the
that.
top
And we're not
of the
deporting
list.
U.S. citizens, and we're not deporting
Well, 10
people
of them
who
have
have
been
legal
deported.
status here.
10 American
if
citizens
the children
have
have
been
gone
deported.
with their parents, it's
So
because their
let me
parents
ask you
wanted
another
them
question
with them.
about cybersecurity. You know, you've
I guess she just talks right the fuck over her. Just not even going there.
cut $500 million from the budget. What specific programs are you cutting? Because there are programs that really aid states and locals that we depend on for cybersecurity. And we know that right now, while we may have good security in the federal government, if you are a local state official, you're depending on the federal government. So have you cut the ISAC program, the program to states and locals on cybersecurity?
Caesar habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus.
The president's recommended budget has a reduction in.
That's what they yelled before battle.
Habeas corpus.
Why not say news? Habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus, my fellow warrior.
$191 million.
I've heard
and
the
what
talking
it's
point.
doing
Does
is putting
it cut the
CISA
program?
back on mission.
And
it's
you can't say
ensuring
that
that
this is the most
cybersecurity is going to be strengthened.
You cannot say it's the most cyber secure administration if you're cutting the program to my state and to your state.
It will
and if you
be
look
when
on
we-
record, that's what you've cut. I yield back.
It feels like that scene in Red October where he goes, "You got something to add to our discussion, Dr. Ryan?" Jeez, that is embarrassing. I don't know how
What
that
a wreck.
Yeah, we don't have too much of that. We've got about 5 MPs that are very much like that. But luckily, and most of them are, you may not like their political, but we've got about 5 or 6 that are just truly dreadful. We've got some people that have been in there forever that nobody knows about, and then we've got lots of new ones. But it's just like the knowledge. Even most MPs have some knowledge of the process, what they're trying to, even when they're trying to manipulate it or work around it, they know the law and how the process works. Jeez, that is
okay. Last story, and we're getting out of here because this is good. Yo.
Updated this hour. This just in. Authorities have arrested an Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office maintenance worker in connection with the escape of 10 inmates. Officials say the employee admitted he turned water off in the cell before the men slipped away through a hole behind the toilet. Katie Wise shows us how police are now using facial recognition cameras to help them find the remaining inmates on the run.
Yo, they got boogied. I'm talking about they out of there.
4 days after a brazen jailbreak in New Orleans, Louisiana State Police posted this photo on social media, announcing the arrest of Gary C. Price, bringing the total to 4 apprehensions so far. 6 remain on the run, and police are relying on technology that may already be helping. New surveillance video with facial recognition shows 2 inmates, including Kendall Miles, walking down tourist Central Bourbon Street hours after breaking free. Miles was arrested roughly an hour later. He was found hiding under a car. But sources tell CBS News there was a delayed response after changes were made last month to the camera's alert system, changes the city allegedly requested over misidentification concerns.
We need those cameras.
Attorney General Liz Murrell supports the cameras, managed between state police and a nonprofit called Project NOLA.
Those cameras are enormously beneficial tools, and I think you can see in the reality of that having played out in this situation.
And the turn. Of course, it's a dark turn. It's me.
Wow, that really is.
They're using AI facial recognition to find people.
There's a series there's a sci-fi called Person of Interest. I don't know if you watched it. It was about 10 years ago. AI surveillance. It's just like you're there. You are. I mean, we have lots of cameras London is the most CCTV'd city in the world, but you guys really stepping up the AI facial record there, aren't you? It's probably more than we are.
And this is not something like Louisiana is not a blue state by any stretch.
Nope.
So this is the Palantir arm of the new administration testing out, throwing these cameras all over New Orleans so that they can, just catch criminals. That's what it's for.
It's going to make your dramas really, really boring, right? Because I watched all the seasons of Prison Break, and those went on for 5 seasons. Now it'll be like, we've escaped. No, we've been caught. The end.
Yeah. Oh man, there's Teslas all over the outside of the prison. How will we ever escape?
Yeah, there's those, but Graham's always banging on about all the cameras and the Teslas recording you, right? And they're all active. It's all like it's like Jason Bourne would get caught in 5 seconds now.
What was the Shia LaBeouf movie, like Eagle Eye? It's that.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before the AI becomes sentient, and then we all become batteries.
Yeah. Hey, this is lovely.
Zero.
But the ACLU claims the cameras lack oversight and raise civil rights concerns.
Witnesses are under threat right now. I think we do everything that we can to bring these people back in.
Murrell is leading the investigation into who may have helped the 10 inmates escape.
One of the questions that I think is on a lot of people's minds is just, where were the guards?
So that's all part of our investigation. Nobody wanted this to happen, but if it can take us to a better place.
I can tell you 17 people who wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
They are currently sprinting out the door. What are you talking about?
It doesn't help that Louisiana is pretty consistently the most corrupt state in the union.
Yeah.
How dare you?
In a parallel universe, it was, I wish we hadn't reopened Alcatraz.
And a more secure facility. I think that's good.
And over the weekend, the governor transferred all State Department of Corrections inmates out of this prison here behind me to go serve their time somewhere else. Meanwhile, the New Orleans City Council is meeting to discuss whether or not budget problems are partially to blame for the security breakdowns here.
What?
You got money. You got money for cameras.
Yeah, you got money for cameras, but you're not just putting money into maintaining the security of the prison.
Well, you should give Person of Interest a go. That AI sci-fi, because the little squares around all the little yellow square, that's in that 10 years ago going bleep 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 bleep. It's just exactly the same. Only the AI was conscious, right? And it's analyzing. And it's a really good sci-fi, but it really kind of that's it.
They were trying to warn us.
They were. Oh no. Oh, jeez. It's the T1000 is going to come back and have a word and say, your future's not great. Don't do it.
Thankfully, I've been training for this.
Russell in chat says, "Is that a prison? It looks like an unfinished multi-story car park."
Right. It does look like a multi-story car park.
She couldn't get over there, so they just come, just set it up. Just set it up, and I'll do it right here. It's fine.
Jeez. That's getting them back so quickly. That's by me. That is scary stuff. We don't have that here. Not like that. Not like that yet.
And for the record, I don't know what those dudes did, so I'm not saying that they're innocent of any crime, but it is hilarious when people get out.
But they're innovative, right? Because those guys, an hour later, they were in jackets and nice jeans, and how did they get the clothes?
Oh, the guard let them out.
For sure, the guards were paid off somehow.
Yeah, right. The guards let them out.
Right. Okay.
But that stuff happens all the time. Like they keep acting like it doesn't happen. You know how that doesn't happen is if you have unionized labor.
Yep.
But
Healthcare,
and then get some transparency up there and get some reform. Maybe not have people with PTSD be prison guards.
Yeah.
What, Mikey? Prison reform? No. Yeah, zero agrees. It's never going to happen.
They're like adding mulch or something.
Yeah, I got landscapers outside, so I had to shut all my windows.
Yeah, they're just like, he just bumped the house with his fucking wheelbarrow. So Zero's like, kill the non-believers.
We've had, I mean, in the UK, we've had 14 years of locking everybody up, whatever the crime, smoking a joint or whatever it is. And all our prisons are packed. And actually, prison reform is sort of coming through the back door in a way, because we've had to let everybody that's not violent or not a rapist out and give them, you know, training and education. And they're still restricted. They're at home with leg bands and stuff because we can't have them in the prison, because we have got a lot of people who rape and people who are violent who we do need to put in there. So prison reform comes not because it was the right thing to do in the first place. It's because all our prisons are absolutely jammed to the built with it. We haven't got any space. So it has to. So actually in the UK, there's a guy called Timpson who runs a load of shops that do shoe repair and keys and stuff. They're everywhere, every station, everywhere. And he's a big rehabilitation kind of guy. And he recruits a lot of guys coming out, as you know, giving them jobs to get them trained and give them a skill. And he's now in charge of prisons inside the Labour government. He's advisors, he's a consultant to the prisons, I think. And he's done quite a good job. But trying to get people who aren't violent or in there for crimes that are lesser, that being in there is not going to help. So they get restriction on their life, but they also get some sort of trade. And I think that has to be the way that has to work, because all our prisons are packed and they're old and they're nasty and they're Victorian, a lot of them, and they're just So
because once you stop locking people up for plants,
you
have a lot more space for the people who are actually bad. And then the cops have a lot more time going after people who are bad than people who are just trying to enjoy an album.
And judges, but judges want to give, some judges want to give the high sentences, but they're told that they can't because there's nowhere for them to go. So they have to give them lesser sentences that they probably shouldn't be. So there's a whole load of, but it backs up right up the system, like up a sewer, poo up a sewer from a toilet. If the prisons haven't got space, the judges can't give the sentences, the CPS possibly might not prosecute. And so you get this whole backlog of just rubbish in the system. Not good.
Hey, Mikey, a bit of housekeeping. Did we read a super chat from George?
No, I didn't see it.
Super chat.
Ooh. You got it? You want me to get it?
I got it. George says, I believe that you can thank Musk and Doge for the lack of severe storm warning. That's what you get with a belief in simple solutions to complex
problems, I assume.
Yes. But I would agree. I mean,
thank you, George.
Yep.
You guys were having a conversation earlier about severe weather.
That's right.
Sorry, George. Sorry, George.
Yeah.
I was probably typing. My bad. And Tim left me.
I did. I had to go deal with the continually unruly dog.
He's got this awful, English person on asking loads of questions about how things work in America. But to be fair, in my defense, when Mikey's on Fridays on the Politics Social, I'm the one that says, because we all the Brits get all the American procedure and everything wrong, and when Mikey joins, we really step up getting it wrong to annoy Mikey.
Yes.
So I'm actually here to learn. So I've learned a lot
intentionally troll me.
We do. And we like to talk about films, but just talk about how we feel about the film and something, but not let Mikey know what the film's about or the plot. Or
oh my God.
That really winds him up. So we're really good at doing that too.
To be honest, it is a British thing where when asked to describe something, you guys use a even more niche reference.
Yeah.
And then it only gets more and more niche so that by the end of it, I have not understood anything.
Yeah.
And now I don't even know where we are.
Yeah, we like to move on to a quote from another film and you don't even see the film shift. And we're talking about a different film completely to the one that you asked us about. Yeah, it's our thing.
It's what they do. They're addicted to it.
We are.
The Brits only want one thing, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, so the maintenance worker in that New Orleans jail got arrested.
Oh, sucker.
Yeah, they got him. I don't know what they promised you on the outside, but
I got him.
You're not gonna get it.
We got him.
I actually have that on hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
He died like a dog.
Yeah, that went swimmingly.
All right, Mikey, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up, Tim.
All right. Well, first we got to thank our guest, Mikey. Geez, God, how insensitive of you.
That's what you're doing. You's doing it.
Yeah. Well, Rachel Harris, thanks for being on the.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've learned a lot. I don't know if your viewers are going, oh, look at this terrible English person asking all these questions. That doesn't help us at all.
You're not a terrible English person. They already know Graham and Wayne.
Yeah.
Right. You have massively raised the bar.
Thank you.
So I know you're not on any of the socials, but is there anything you want to plug?
Well, I do a show on Wednesday night on Politics Social called Down the Rabbit Hole. It's a 1 hour show where it's a politics channel, but it's a show where we don't talk about politics for 1 hour. So we talk about films, we talk about Star Wars, Star Trek, sci-fi, films, Roger Moore, James Bond, anything. And we just go all over the place. And we don't plan it. We just start and we wobble about films. And Graham gets obsessed about something that he's watched, and we like usually Andor.
But why does America get to have that and I don't get to have that?
Exactly.
America and Hollywood, America.
That's my only show. I do a Friday night social, and I used to be the Intersection, but we just do the Down the Rabbit Hole on Wednesday night, 6 o'clock UK time in the evening.
Cool.
Which is noon here.
Perfect.
And we will be back on Thursday with another episode of Headliners at the usual time. And who's our guest on Thursday, Mikey?
Thursday is Scott Williams.
Hey, good old Scott.
Will be joining us, who is he's born here, but he lives there
in London.
Yes,
a farmer.
Yes, he is quite British, and Scott always cracks me up because Scott's voice is American, but his words are British. So it always like the accent doesn't match the word choices.
Yeah,
he's like, I know, bruv. And I'm like,
he's a great guy.
But I love it. Yeah. I love it.
All right. Well, no. Everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe on the YouTubes. And if you're in the chat right now and you haven't subscribed, do it. We need 1,000 subscribers so we can get that sweet ad revenue.
So we can take all the Google money, and then it will be ours.
Tell your friends, tell your enemies. I don't care. Everyone should subscribe.
I thought of a sound clip.
You got thought of a sound clip.
Yeah.
And also go on to patreon.com/thebin podcast, become a patron. There's a free tier, and then there's the give me money tier where you get
stuff and things.
And if you're a member on YouTube or if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get the same stuff. We put the same stuff everywhere, so you're not missing out on anything, regardless of what you subscribe to. And that's all I got.
Here it is. Let's see if this is right.
Perfect.
That is perfect. Thank you guys. We love you. Drink some water, kiss somebody you love, and keep a secret. We love you. Goodbye.